Hello and welcome to the Fanfiction Book Club podcast, a weekly podcast that explores the good, the bad, and the cringy of fanfiction, hosted by me, Tstan, and my lovely co-hosts, Poppy.
Hi.
Ollie.
Hey.
And SG.
Hey there.
Every month we scour the internet to bring you 4 different fanfic reads, and our theme this month is Percy Jackson. Check out our website at fanfictionbookclub.com or follow us on Twitter and Instagram at fanfictionados for the full lineup of stories for the month and to connect with us on the web. The fanfic we are discussing this week is Please Don't Ever Become a Stranger, whose laugh I could recognize anywhere, by Tonystarkisadad.
Tonystarkisadad?
He is.
He is, actually.
Or is he daddy?
I guess right.
He is.
Ollie ruined it.
He is indeed a father.
Daddy.
He's a father.
He is a father, that is
He's
facts.
a father, he's not daddy.
As in the last movie, he's a father.
Can we get through the intro, please?
No.
We just got through the intro. Once
Done yet.
Tstan, once you say the name, then it's open season for the rest of us.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this fic is on Archive of Our Own. It was written on February 27th of 2021, so very new. It's 18,000 words, just a little bit over, and there are many, many tags.
Yeah.
Many tags.
It's Archive of Our Own, so none of these tags are actually helpful.
Well, fluff.
It's
Angst with a happy ending.
Slow burn.
I don't know why they added so much to slow burn. Like, they just writing slow burn as a tag would have sufficed.
Yeah.
No, but I like slow burn with 2 question marks, as slow as it can be when it all happens within a week.
Which is not a slow burn.
Tag.
And then Jason is mentioned. They don't mention he's dead. I don't know what that means.
So if that triggers you, you're safe. Also, Frazzle is alive, even though I never mentioned Frank.
Who's Frazzle?
I presume it's a ship. I don't know how. Look,
I think it's
picked
Frank
the story.
I think it's Frank and Hazel.
Frank and Hazel.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I picked this story, and I don't know half these people.
There were so many references to the later part of the book series in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was also lost.
Yeah, like post Trials of Apollo, never touched that, never knew that part of the series existed until we re-looked into this series for the podcast.
Yeah, it was very much. I was having such a hard time, like genuinely having such a hard time picking a story. I couldn't find anything, and then I think this was our deadline of the story pick.
That you found one?
Day of this was posted.
Oh yeah, you were like, this was just posted!
Yeah.
I legitimately refreshed the page and it was right there on top. I was like, okay, that's mine.
Also, I really like the tag Jason is mentioned. Like, that's just funny.
Everybody loved Jason.
Yeah.
He was all over the fanfics. And I'm sorry if it's a spoiler to anyone that he died.
Apparently he's dead. Yeah.
Apparently he dies. Meh. Don't know him.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, right. Also, would just like to say, the title is a Taylor Swift lyric.
Oh.
It is from New Year's Day. New Year's Day by Taylor Swift. And so ever since I read the title, which was today, I have had that song stuck in my head.
Poppy is our resident Taylor Swift expert and Taylor Swift lookalike. So you can hire her for parties.
Taylor Swift, if you're listening to this, I love you.
Did we read the summary?
No.
Okay.
No, we hadn't gotten there yet before it went off the rails. Shall I?
No, yeah, of course.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, the summary. He was angry, really. Moments he'd lost with the love of his life, sneaking her into his cabin, losing to her and capture the flag, holding her hand on the beach and flipping off the Hermes kids as they jeered. Every morning for 8 months, he should have woken up to his mom making breakfast, or her insisting on picking out his clothes because she hated how fast he'd grown up. Every day he should have spent being young and carefree, making stupid mistakes and struggling with homework, and finding excuses to be alone with Annabeth and trying not to get kicked out of school. Stolen. He knew it was for a reason, arguably a very valid reason, but he still couldn't shake the thought that it just didn't seem fair. Or Hera steals Annabeth's memories just to prove a point, and Percy learns there really is something worse than losing yourself. That was like the capital city of run-on sentences.
Yes.
That was so long.
Yeah.
I have seen longer.
Oh my gosh.
I have seen
trying
longer.
to breathe in between all that.
Yeah. What are their notes? Are any of these worth reading?
Notes. The only thing important thing to know is that I'm ignoring Reyna joining the Hunters because I don't like that, lol. Jason is still dead, but they don't mention his death, so you could pretend he's alive.
Oh.
Started writing this in November of 2020, so this is set in December of 2020. Not that it matters, really.
These are like the most neutral notes I think we've read on a fanfic.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know who Jason is.
I don't know. I think he's blonde. I think he's some god's son.
I'm gonna look at
that. Narrows it down.
Is it Hermes' son?
I thought that was Nico. Or is Nico Hades' son?
Nico is Hades' son.
Nico is such a cute name.
Like
Jason's a Roman demigod.
Oh.
He's the son of Jupiter. So that's fun.
Yeah, never got that far in the books.
Is the Roman counterpart. So they're the same person, they're just...
No,
because he's Zeus's son.
Yeah, Percy is Poseidon's son.
No, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Zeus and Jupiter.
Oh, yes. Well,
I'm so baffled by how those Roman...
They're not, but
Greek.
they're like counterparts of each other. But they're
Yeah.
not the same. But I didn't read those books, so I don't know the finer workings of it all.
I'm pretty sure, like, from this fan fiction, I'm sure that, like, the Romans and the Greeks they're, like, Jupiter and Zeus, they're not just, like, different people's tellings of the same person. They're two different people.
Okay, not the same dude. I'm so baffled.
I'm pretty sure. In Percy Jackson, that's what it is.
Okay.
Don't quote us on anything, anyone.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're talking about.
I'm going off of this fan fiction and this fan fiction alone.
Yeah, this fan fiction's lore. Not sure if it's canon, but that's what we're gonna go by.
I know. When I read this, I was like, I don't know anything that's happening, but it's written okay, so let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the story. So Annabeth and Percy are married, and they are living in the Roman... in Rome.
Which is apparently in Rhode Island or Staten Island?
It's not in Rhode Island, because they wanted to move to Rhode Island, so it might be in Staten Island.
I remember them saying something about an island, and I'm like, is this not in New York? Is this like a suburb of New York? Where are they?
It's New Rome. Percy Jackson fans, I'm assuming you know what that means.
In New Rome, somewhere on the East Coast.
Yes.
No West Coast love here.
Nope.
No, because that's where remember Hades is in the Hollywood sign?
Oh, that's right.
I don't know if that was a book thing or just a movie thing, but I always found that very funny.
No, I'm pretty sure that's a book thing too.
So they're living in New Rome. They're married. And the story starts off with Annabeth taking a shower and teasing Percy about water temperature, which was very cute. But also, like, is that how that works?
That's how it works for the son of Poseidon, I guess.
Immune to water temperature, I guess, is canon now. And then the next day, they are generally very cute and adorable. Next day, Annabeth wakes up and she remembers nothing. Her brain is back to being 12 years old and back at Camp Half-Blood. So, obviously, she's very upset. Because she has just woken up in the same bed as Percy Jackson, and they're in their 20s. So she is trying to make sense of it all, and Percy has to go to work. So he has he has somebody. Raina, thank you. Raina come and help Annabeth kind of adjust to the house and to being in New Rome and, her new life, I suppose. Sorry, give me a second.
No, you're good. Just make more work for the editor.
Come on now.
I don't need to sleep at night. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh.
It's not a big deal at all. I'm sorry, I'm just distracting you.
No, it's okay. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this because really, it's a lot of words, but nothing happens.
Yeah, so Raina helps her, they chat, and then she gets a headache, and Raina takes her to CVS.
CVS!
And then she has a panic attack and runs away from CVS and ends up in an alley and talks to a ghost that I think was like a reference for the true fans, but I don't know who he is. And then they find her and they go home, and Percy is just like a sweetheart the whole time. And then Annabeth eventually gets her memory kind of back.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole paragraph dedicated to her shampoo.
Yeah. And there are like points in the story where Percy is explaining things that have happened because she's like slowly regaining her memory. Like she gains a little bit of it about when they had to fight in Tartarus for something. I don't remember what. And then they have a big fight over Tartarus because Percy doesn't tell her everything because some other stuff happened that he was trying to like push away and didn't want to think about. And then that got them in like a really big fight, and then she ran away again. And then she got so mad that her memories came back.
Yes,
or
yes.
something.
So the Tartarus fight is like a full page. And then she gets her memory back, she runs back to Percy, and then she says that she remembers everything and everything's fine.
And then it's over.
The end.
The end. But I mean, it's definitely like a full-fledged story. It's just, it's very slice of lifey, but slice of lifey in the fact that days just go by and nothing really happens.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but
the major overarching plot is just her trying to remember.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see the little things that are like getting into her brain, but it is, a paragraph to shampoo, a paragraph about pasta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the little things.
It's very much like, if you guys have seen the movie Definitely Maybe with Ryan Reynolds and Rachel McAdam, that apparently no one else in this group has seen, and I'm not even a rom-com fan, and I've seen it.
Sorry.
Definitely. It came out in 2008. Okay, hold on.
We were alive then.
Yes, we were alive then.
We were alive and able to process
a lot of movies came out in 2008.
I've definitely heard about it.
Yeah, I mean, it literally came on TV one day, and I'm like, what is this? But, that's the same thing.
I can tell you that I would not be watching a rom-com about divorce.
It's not about divorce.
It's what IMDb says.
Well, it's about this woman loses her memory. Or am I thinking of a different movie?
I think you are.
Movie
because the explanation on
losing memory romance. I swear to God, it's Definitely Maybe.
The description on IMDb is a political consultant tries to explain his impending divorce to his 11-year-old daughter.
It's Rachel McAdam and Channing Tatum.
The Vow.
I've seen that movie.
I have seen that.
It's pretty much The Vow. Now I seem like an idiot. But at least I got that Rachel McAdam was in it. She was in both movies. But if you've seen The Vow, this is pretty much The Vow.
That's the one with Channing Tatum when he was shirtless and he's holding that cat to his chest.
Oh my God, that's the best scene in the movie.
Of course,
that's what I remember.
You, Ollie, would remember that scene only.
All I remember.
We saw
nothing else
all
was
of
important.
the Magic Mikes, and Poppy was curled up in her seat in the movie.
I was so uncomfortable. Ollie dragged us to the theater to watch Magic Mike, and I was literally, I found myself shrunk down in the theater seat. I didn't realize what had happened, but all of a sudden I was very low, and I was like, oh God.
Those came out while I was away at school, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God that I was not dragged there as well.
And Poppy's like, oh my God, what's happening?
I'm sorry, Poppy. If I had been there, I would have supported you. But
thank you, Tstan.
I was unable to be dragged there.
I appreciate your support.
Oh my gosh. So, The Vow is actually the movie.
The Vow is, so I've seen The Vow. This is pretty much The Vow, but like a more consolidated version of it.
Yeah, they figure it all out in a week.
With Percy Jackson characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the plot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not like a heroic story of winning and losing and villainy. It's two crazy kids, one of who loses her memory.
I thought it was weird that they blamed it on Hera, but there was no, like, interaction with Hera mentioned in the story that would spark her making her lose her memory.
Yeah, the reason they blame it on Hera, and I did catch this part, is that apparently she did the same thing to Percy in the books.
Yeah, I get that, but how,
it is very like,
but like, did that happen
Hera.
recently? Is Hera like, why did Hera choose this moment to do this?
Yeah, and also why, like, it's just, it was like Hera's doing this to Annabeth to teach her a lesson. It's like, what lesson? Like, Hera did not make an appearance to be like, haha, Nat, that'll teach you to be, you meddling kids, you know? It was like, just, it was to teach her a lesson, and that's it.
Yeah, it was very much like, blame the one person who's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked that more if like maybe they offended Hera in some way and she just woke up without a memory or something.
I mean, according to myth, the easiest way to offend Hera is to do anything. So
what, like make
that's
coffee
perfectly
in the
reasonable.
morning?
Yeah, Hera is very unpredictable.
Maybe she has a particular coffee brand she prefers.
Petty is a good word for it.
You better not buy Folgers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that this story could have been I thought the story was cute. I thought it was a very cute story. It
was adorable.
But I think that it could have done better with being longer. Like, this story screams slow burn.
Yeah.
Like, it just screams
like real slow
burn.
Like, this needs to be like 30 to 50K.
Yeah, this needs to be a really long story, and she very slowly regains her memory.
Yeah.
And then the last chapter is her, like, she regains her memory in the penultimate chapter, and then the last chapter is them being happy, you know? Like, that kind of thing.
It did feel like they went really slowly at the beginning, and then they, like, sped it up.
Yeah.
Try and get to the end.
Like, they just wanted to end it. Like, they had something else going on in their life, and they just needed to finish the story.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been interesting. Oh, sorry, Ollie.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing. Like, the last sentence of the story was, I remember! And then the end.
Yeah.
I know, I was listening to the audiobook, and it's like, I remember, and then they start reading off the credit stuff, and I'm like, wait, that was
That's
it.
it.
I missed something? Because I was, like, talking to my cat while I was listening to it. I'm like, did I, like, miss a whole big thing? And I'm like, nope, they just said she remembered. But, in the story, it seemed like they were hinting at the idea that Annabeth was pregnant.
Oh, yes.
Did you guys
I got that vibe. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought she was pregnant.
I feel like that story was going to be longer because I think that would have been a really interesting plot point of you're losing your memory and your body is changing and creating another life and your mind is stuck back to when you're 12. And then I think she like got her memory back to 17 right before the big remember moment.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been a really interesting plot point to navigate. But they just like barely hinted at it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's about to go down. She's going to find out she's pregnant because they were talking about that room that she never went in. And I thought that room was going to be like a nursery or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was talking about, she was like, I'm really hungry. Like, I'll be nauseous and then I won't be hungry and then I'll get really hungry. And Then Percy was like, oh, you've been wanting this one Chinese food for like 3 weeks now. You've been craving this one thing.
Yeah.
And then Percy got like really upset at her when she was like, I feel nauseous and then I don't want to eat and then I want to eat everything. And he got really upset.
Yeah.
And then he said something, it was like, don't worry, I'm not dying. And that's when they got into like the big fight. And it's like, well, is she pregnant or not?
And I don't know if Percy's just too much of an idiot to read the signs, or if the author was going to weave that into the story and they just decided not to, or maybe we're all just reading into it. I feel like if all of us thought that, then that must have been the author's intention, but they just didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely did feel like that's where that was heading.
Yeah.
I feel like possibly if there had been another chapter, I don't doubt that maybe, even if it wasn't intentional, that's where the author was kind of like leading everyone. But according to the note at the bottom, this was 46 pages on a Google Doc.
Yeah.
So I don't blame them for stopping there.
Yeah.
Because 18,000, I mean, we read that. It's 18,000 words when we think it's too short.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, stories have so many lengths. It's just like this one. Yeah. There's some things they could have taken out to keep it short. Like, the things that were in there felt like they should have made a more expanded story.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. I can understand, though, being like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that's why I think the longest fanfic I ever wrote was like 5K. Intentionally.
Yeah. I have an OC on TikTok, which is at Poppy's Portkey. And
shameless plug.
I know, shameless plug.
Should I put it in the description too?
Yeah, sure. But I have an OC, and I have a Word document with I'm writing season 5 right now, and I have 50 pages of a Word document on this OC.
Oh my gosh.
I have been working on this since November? Anyway, enough of my stuff.
But yeah, no, I can understand. I mean, you have 50 pages of Word doc. I can understand being like, okay, take a break.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe they're working on part 2. You know, this was only posted a month and a half ago.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
I know, I mean, and they were saying that they've been working on this since November. Last November, so yeah. Setting. Let's talk about the setting of New Rome. I don't get it because I didn't read the books, but apparently there's New Rome in the East Coast.
It seemed like really overpopulated.
Yeah, they were saying that it used to be just the Roman demigods, and then the Greek demigods starting to live there after, I guess, their home was destroyed. This is a book thing.
Unclear.
Yeah. There were so many book references in this. Like when Percy was explaining their history, I was just tuning out. Because I'm like, this is a history only someone who actually read the books can really follow.
Yeah. Well, see, I appreciated it was like Spark Notes of Percy Jackson. So I appreciated like the little debrief of what their history was, you know, because I'm like, I don't know, so thank you for telling me.
I had a hard time following it. I'm just like, oh, so many names.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of names, and like I know some, like I like Greek mythology, so it's like I know a lot of gods' names. I don't know all of them though, so like I know Hera, but I don't know what was the guy. Titus? Blah, 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 blah,
Charles
blah, blah.
Beckendorf.
I don't know who that is.
Princess Andromeda.
Yep.
Kronos.
Titus?
I know who Kronos is.
Yeah, we all know Kronos.
Oh, Tartarus.
Tartarus is a place.
Tartarus is a place.
It's a layer of Hades.
Yeah.
Whoop. Oop. Thought that it was a person. All right.
Arachne. After Arachne.
That's how much I don't know.
I think Arachne is a creature.
Arachne was
sounds like a spider.
Arachne was a woman who was turned into the first spider for saying that she was better at weaving than a god.
That is
that sounds like a fun story.
I can't remember which goddess turned her into a spider, but it was one of them.
Probably.
Probably Hera, yes.
I don't know. Not guaranteed. Not guaranteed. They were all bad at this. They were all very much like, oh, you've pissed me off, become a plant or an animal.
Yeah.
So the characters.
Yeah.
I think Percy and Annabeth were written really well. Again, I don't know what they were like in the later books, but I think based on what I know off of the movies, God, the movies and the musical.
The musical?
Whoa, what?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
It was in at the Fifth Ave in Seattle.
Oh, I think I remember.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, they debuted Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the musical.
Oh, jeez, yeah. I missed that.
It's on YouTube. But yeah,
Jackson, the musical.
from the books or from the movies and the musical, I think they were written decent. I mean, obviously they've grown up since. Mm-hmm. They're not 12-year-olds anymore.
Yeah.
But I felt like they probably could have explored Annabeth's panic attacks more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they were just like, oh, I freaked out a bit and then I went home.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't really see any lasting effects of them. And especially if she's taking medicine for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because that's gotta... You approach just going out into the world a completely different way if you're that susceptible to having a panic attack. And yeah, you're right, Tstan. They definitely could have expanded on that more. I would say that Percy seemed like a little too perfect. Like in the books, he was an idiot. He was a socially inept
also
idiot.
12.
Yeah,
I mean, he's grown up now.
I don't know that he doesn't strike me as the type that completely grows up.
Yeah, I mean, he just seemed like a goofball.
Yeah.
You know?
He was a very supportive goofball. I would have liked, I don't know, maybe like a little more conflict between them to keep the story interesting. It just seemed like he was really there for her, which is a great quality in a real man. But in a fanfic where I want to be entertained, I kind of want to see some grit in their relationship.
Yeah, I mean, the summary that the author gave was like, it kind of showed Percy being like, he was angry, he had all this loss in his life, and it didn't touch up on him really at all. It was mainly on Annabeth. So I'm like, was he supposed to have his moment in this story?
Yeah, I think because this story was written in third person, maybe when Annabeth like ran away and he went to work or something, like you could see, because he was being so supportive of her, which is great, but I'd like to know like what's really going on in Percy's head.
Yeah, he does sound very like too perfect in Annabeth's perspective.
He did seem very perfect in her perspective, and it's great if he really is that way, but more in stories, it's a more interesting character when they're like on the verge of potentially losing it, but trying to keep it together for their partner.
Yeah, and it I think we got a little bit of that at the last fight.
Yeah, that's why that last fight was my favorite part, because it was him not being completely perfect with her, because he's like, there's parts of our life that I don't want to burden you with right now. You're eventually going to remember them. And him and his efforts to be good. It's always interesting when a character, when they're doing what they think is right, isn't actually right, but they think that it's right. And then they're still a good character, but they're in the wrong with another character because they're censoring their ability to learn something or do something. And I thought that was like the most interesting part of the story, because it's like, because I don't remember everything that happened. Like, what happened? Why doesn't he want to tell her? And then I get her frustration for him not telling her. Like,
absolutely.
That was a very dynamic moment that the author created between them.
Yeah.
And it made him not completely perfect. Like, he's just a real person and he's trying to protect her, but he is also censoring her at the same time, which in some ways is not right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was very much like while it's nice of someone to be like, okay, I know this is going to upset you, so I'm not going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thought in theory. It always is in theory.
Yeah.
But it never turns out well.
No. Someone's going to stomp off.
Yeah, and I can't really say, for the other characters, if they were written correctly or anything like that, because
they weren't really written. I guess Hazel was nice, and Raina was a normal human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those were the only characters that we were introduced to.
Yeah, I mean, the other characters were kind of only talked about in passing instead of. So, writing. So, anybody, I know we touched on the writing briefly, but did anyone want to add anything other than, it could be both longer and shorter?
Yes.
It could be both longer and shorter.
Well, there were some parts that could have been cut down and some parts that could have been
expanded on.
increased.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of description.
A lot of description that's unnecessary.
If this story was a lot longer, then the description would have been fine.
Yeah, but for the length that it was, they focused on random things a little too much. But, the writing itself, it was pretty easy to follow. Ollie and I listened on e-book, text-to-speech stuff, and it flowed pretty well on that.
Yeah. Because of all the description.
Probably, yeah. I mean, their sentence structures work really well for audiobooks.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. And
hey, bonus if you guys want to listen to it,
Yeah, listen to the audio versions of these.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. I think the writing was pretty standard. It didn't offend me in any way. I think it was pretty easy to follow because I kind of did a mix of audio listening and actually reading the story. I didn't really see many misspellings or anything, but Tstan, you usually bring us pretty well written pics.
It's one of my pet peeves is something where I'm looking at it and I can't read. And I already have a problem with that enough just because I'm slightly dyslexic and have no attention span.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can't read something easily enough within the first 4 paragraphs, it's out of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, this was very easy to read. It was understandable. There wasn't any crazy grammatical. I can't talk either, apparently.
Grammatical.
There wasn't any crazy grammar mistakes or spelling that I saw.
Yeah.
Nothing that made it impossible to read.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty right. It wasn't profound, but it wasn't bad by any means.
No.
I felt like there are certain parts when oh my god, Annabeth was describing Percy. It was just there was a scene where she said he looked at her with eyes that looked like a baby seal. And I'm like, that's not, I don't like that. It's kind of cringy.
No. Literally. I have had guys look at me with eyes like a baby seal.
Puppy dog eyes.
I have dated guys with straight up puppy eyes, but I don't tell them oh my god, you're like a little puppy. But they literally have a puppy eye face, so I can relate to that.
I just envision these soulless black eyes, huge, looking up at her.
Cute, adorable eyes that just look at you with adoration. It's cute, like a little baby seal. I got that.
I can understand where Ollie is coming from. Absolutely, absolutely. I think I just missed that line.
Yeah. I had a lot.
I can also understand
to it.
Just the puppy dog eyes.
It was. Their banter was very cute. They had very cute banter. Almost toothache-inducing cuteness.
It was a little syrupy sweet.
It was very syrupy, but it seems like the fandom likes to have their relationship represented like that. So it seemed pretty true to what people think future Percy and Annabeth would be like.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with it. It was just it was very syrupy, but there was nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. There was one other thing I wanted to say, but I don't remember what it was.
That's okay. I have zero memory anyway, so it's bad.
This is what I was going to say.
There we go.
They getting married before she's done with college?
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's happened.
I don't know. I feel like get your degree. And I'm wondering, like, okay, you guys are this young. Percy just works as, like, a part-time sword trainer. I'm assuming that doesn't pay very much. She's going to college, and they have a house the size of the one they did. Like, when they were describing their apartment, there were, like, so many rooms and all this space. And I'm like, how are they affording this?
I mean, maybe
is this,
New
like,
Rome
Ohio
is really cheap.
living? Like, the cheapest living in the country?
I mean, maybe it's like New Rome is super cheap.
Yeah, I don't know, but as someone who's very conscious of budgeting and the construction industry and housing prices, I was just like, how are they affording this?
Well, with all the quests that they've been on, maybe they got...
Do they get cash monies for
money?
that?
Maybe they were compensated for all their quests.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
I hope so.
Quests work.
I know how quests work in video games, but I don't know how demigod quests work.
No.
Yeah, that was like questionable for me. I'm like, you're in college, you guys got married, you might be having a baby.
There's a lot going on.
Do you have money for this? How are you not stressed out about money?
I didn't even think about the fact that if that's where the story was intending to go with the baby, God, being in college and being pregnant.
I think she was like a couple months away from finishing, but still, like,
okay, that's not bad.
I think like if this was a long, slow burn, that would have been really interesting to explore. She doesn't have her memory. She's pregnant. She's like trying to get back into the swing of going to college.
God, that would have been traumatic.
That's the story I want.
But that's like such an interesting story and like an interesting woman empowerment story too, because you don't read too many fanfics that talk about like women going through college and navigating a baby, like multitasking life like that. You don't see that very often in fanfic. True, very true. But yeah, I was just imagining how traumatic that would be. Not having your memory, being pregnant. That's the kind of stuff I want to read. Like, how do you grow in those moments?
That's why I want the slow burn.
The slowest of burns. Yeah, this could have been really good as like a long, slow burn. I think the author had a lot of great things that could set it up. And then like Percy like slowly losing his patience and like kind of breaking along with Annabeth and figuring out how they come together as a couple again through this. Oh yeah, I would have loved to see that. Like the actual relationship, the trials, because I did feel like there weren't very many trials in this. No. Yeah. Because it was such a short time, like he doesn't really have time for it to sink in if she's starting to get her memories back within like a few days. Yeah, very true. Yeah. But yeah, author, if you want to expand on this more, I would be so interested to read that true slow burn.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that would be great.
I've never read Percy Jackson, but if you published a super long slow burn, let me know. I will read the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this was, and, you know, obviously we're going to talk about how well it stuck to the fandom, but this was well done.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no faults in it that can't be then expanded on.
Yeah. And that's like the best you can ask for. If there's any fault in something, just that it could be expanded on.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, all of their, you know, we were talking about the parentheses in the title. All their stories are like that.
Oh, you've looked at this author's other stories?
Okay.
Ooh,
2 out of 3.
Let me see if there are other Taylor Swift
all Taylor
stories.
Swift lyrics.
Are they?
Yeah, let's get our Taylor Swift expert on the case.
All right, let's see. Yep. All right. The more that you say, the less I know. Forever you stray, I'll follow. That's from Willow.
Okay, yep, there it is.
We decided to move the furniture so we could dance. I don't know that. Blue. The Story of Us is a Taylor Swift song.
Poppy is just on it.
Yeah, sounds like we have a fan, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like 1, I feel like we decided to move the furniture so we could dance. It feels like a Taylor Swift.
That sounds like a Taylor Swift lyric.
So I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
I feel like this person and you might be able to be good friends, Poppy.
Just singing at each other.
Yeah, hey, Tonystarkisadad. If you want to talk Taylor Swift, let me know.
that is such a good username in that.
Tonystarkisadad.
It's so like 2013 and it's so good.
Yeah.
It is.
So yeah, how well did they stick to the fandom?
I'm assuming they did well.
We're so bad at this question because none of us know.
We know nothing. I mean, his name is Percy. Her name is Annabeth. They were a couple.
And apparently someone is dead. So,
and Jason died. The internet confirmed Jason died. This author had a healthy knowledge of the canon and it in at that end point. That I can't verify any of it, but they seemed like they knew what they were talking about.
Presume they know more than us.
I think it's very obvious they know more than us.
It's
just
nice.
Shocked.
It's nice to have a fandom we don't know anything about, but it makes it very difficult.
I know it makes it very difficult to judge that one question.
Also, I just want to clarify. I looked it up, and to move the furniture so we could dance is from "Out of the Woods" by Taylor Swift, and I feel like a bit dumb because I love that song.
Well, it's such a small line. I can imagine that a lot of songs have that line.
There's so many words in a song.
Similar.
Yeah.
How do you latch onto all
But you
of them
don't
equally?
Understand how much Taylor Swift I know.
I mean, Poppy, I know your love of Taylor Swift. I grew up with it.
You're correct. You're right. You're right.
Do we want to read some comments?
Yeah.
Sure. Let me see what we've got.
There's one from Burbliophile. Oh, how cute!
Burbliophile.
Oh my god, that's really cute.
Owl for their picture. Oh, that's so cute.
Oh my gosh, they caught it.
Yeah, they caught it too. That's why I wanted you to read it.
Okay, so Burbliophile, I love that so much. I said I wasn't going to stay up all night reading fic, and I click on an 18K one that hooks me with the first few sentences. Great job, me, lol. But even better job, you as the writer. I really enjoyed how this played out. It felt in character, and the details about New Rome were compelling. Also, I started to wonder about halfway through, but Annabeth is pregnant in this, isn't she? The first bout of sudden vomiting and illness could be explained by sheer anxiety, but the later bits,
Burbliophile is on the same page as us.
Oh yeah. I'm just glad we all kind of caught on, because it did. It was.
Yeah.
It was there.
And then someone named Avery_Lynn9 said, that's what I was thinking too. Responding to Burbliophile's thread.
Just that picture is so cute.
It's really cute.
Keep looking at it like,
it's a picture of a cute little barn owl, and it's adorable.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hannah said, "Wow, this is amazing. I feel like I just went through such an emotional journey. It was so nostalgic reading about Annabeth, remembering how she was back then and realizing how far she's come."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this was. Yeah. It was well done.
Yeah.
I think our only criticism was that it wasn't long enough.
It wasn't long enough. I think that would have been, if this author took the time to expand on that pregnancy thing, plus her not having her memory, I think that would have been really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm Funny Occasionally said this was so perfect.
Yeah, everyone had nice things to say. There's only 6 comments because it's fairly new. It
is new. Yeah, and they were all, looks like most of them, or at least half of them are from Day Of, so.
Yeah. So yeah, good job, Tonystarkisadad.
Okay, do we want to give it a rating?
Yeah, let's rate this guy.
So, I'm going to go first.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to give it a 4.
Ooh.
I try not to be so generous on mine because it is a bias. And I did pick this. But, I mean, generally, we were just talking, and the only criticism we have is that it's not long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it could be expanded upon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's not a criticism. Yeah, it says a lot. that our only issue is that we wanted more. I think it was well done. I think that it had good character for what little I know of the characters. And I would like to see more if more comes along. So 4 tridents out of 5.
Right on. I think I agree with 4 tridents. For literally all the same reasons. Like, it was a really cute story. But it just could have been longer.
Yes, I would also agree. However, I would give it like a 3.75.
3.75. You're really
might as well just give it a 4, Ollie.
listen. My with agreeing with what you guys said. One of my pet peeves is like when they end the story of like it just like everything's resolved and then nothing after that. Like they just wrap it up really quickly and they don't expand like what happens after. That's just like I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's where that 0.75 is coming from.
We start doing ratings like 3.542.
3.999 repeating.
Yeah.
No. More than a 9.8.
I think I would give this story a 3.5. It got the 3 because it's a very good standard fanfic story, but anything above a 3 needs to really wow me. And I think on top of that 3, the extra 0.5 is the flow and the quality of writing and storytelling that this author put in. I would give it a 4 if they expanded that slow burn concept that we were talking about. But I think a 3.5 is a really good score for a story. So I think these guys did a good job. It just didn't amaze me, and I think they could have amazed me. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So should we pick our favorite story?
Yeah.
All right.
Because this is the last one. So let me do the rundown. Mine was about the ABO werewolf. Not werewolf. The ABO not werewolf Mulan AU.
Right, that one.
And then Poppy did the oh gosh, Poppy, what was yours?
Mine was so boring that you couldn't remember.
Yours was like
had all the chapters.
Yours was like a Rick Warden, who's the writer of the Percyverse series, like a Rick Warden offshoot,
like Ghost Rider
on steroids. Because it was like fast forwarding through everything. It was just like a fever dream adventure.
Yeah.
Ollie's took place during World War II.
That's right.
And it was the romance between Percy and Annabeth during World War II. And then Tstan's is the one that we discussed today.
Yes.
For me, it's between Tstan's and Ollie's.
Same.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, the thing is, I like Tstan's for all the reasons we discussed today. And these are both, Ollie's and Tstan's stories are both stories that had a lot of potential. And they, like, almost reached it. In a way that my pick didn't reach it in any way. I mean, I love the historical aspect of yours, Ollie. But I think I'm just gonna have to give a point for each one. Because I really can't decide.
Like a tie?
It's a tie for me between those two, yeah. I think they were both good stories.
Dang. Like I said, mine is between Ollie's and Tstan's. Like, I liked Tstan's because it was cute, but it ended too quickly. Mm-hmm. But I liked Ollie's because of the angst.
Mm-hmm. It had some sweet angst.
Angst sells, people. I think I'm gonna have to give it to Ollie.
Ooh. All right. There you go. Man, this is hard because I don't like voting for myself.
Vote for yourself. I voted for myself twice. No shame, man.
SG, I love you. I love you dearly. But your pick wanted me to set myself on fire. So
no, it was like I literally prefaced, guys, here's my pick. I don't think it's good, but I think we can have a good conversation about it. And I think we did.
I felt unclean.
Wasn't good.
I felt unclean reading it. So yes, I will say, yeah, I'm gonna have to vote for myself, because while I liked Ollie's, I thought it was good. It just angst doesn't do anything for me.
For sure.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Ollie, you're the tiebreaker. Do you vote for yourself or do you vote for Tstan?
Oh no.
Maybe Ollie liked my story. You don't know.
Well, Poppy, did you vote?
I did. I voted for Ollie.
Oh, right. Sorry.
And I split my vote.
Right. So we got it. Never mind. Sorry. Excuse myself.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're tiebreaker.
Well, you know, I hate to be biased.
No, do it. Give it to yourself. You deserve it.
I'm just gonna vote for myself because one, that was I think the first really historical fic I've ever read, and I actually pretty enjoyed it.
I really
and of course the angst was lovely.
Yeah.
So.
No, you deserve it. You do.
Yeah.
Yay.
Ollie,
it's Ollie's first win.
Ollie's first win.
Yay!
And now you're a winner. You had a good pick last time, and you have a
winner.
good pick this time.
Chicken dinner.
I can't believe I won Mario.
Okay, so for those of you counting at home, SG has won 3, and then the rest of us have won 1.
1.
We're catching up, SG. We are.
Yeah, we'll catch you.
Yeah, beat me.
So let's pick.
Let's pick.
Pick our next theme.
Who needs to do the generator? Do you want me to do it, or one of you guys?
I feel like Poppy's done it every time.
I can pull it up. Hold on.
Someone not me can do it. It's fine.
The number generator?
Keep up with tradition.
Yeah. I am closely monitoring the list, though, so...
You have it up, Tstan?
Please, no sports.
Criminal Minds. Criminal Minds. What's number 3?
3, 2, 1. 4.
4?
No!
What's number 4? What's number 4?
I literally was saying, please, no sports.
What's number 4?
It's FIFA / sports.
Oh,
you gotta find sports fics?
Oh, I'm gonna be so uncomfortable.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. The world of RP sports fics is crazy.
I'm so out of my element.
Thank you for listening to the Fanfiction Book Club. Our pick this week was Please Don't Ever Become a Stranger, Whose Laugh I Could Recognize Anywhere, by Tonystarkisadad. You can find this story and more of the author's work on Archive of Our Own. Theme song is Funkorama by Kevin MacLeod. You can find more of Kevin's music on incompetech.filmmusic.io/artist/Kevin-MacLeod. The works discussed on the Fanfiction Book Club are not our own. All characters mentioned belong to their original authors. Thank you. Cheers.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.